Welcome back. Welcome back. Yours truly, Diamond K, in here as always. The Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com, the Diamond K Show.com. And of course, as we really loom and zoom in to election day, you're going to see all types of actions. President Obama, former President Obama, slamming Donald Trump today for a number of things in a very aggressive, very powerful speech in Florida, slamming Trump for his response on the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. It was very personal and it was serious because this is a serious thing. A lot of people affected by what the president is doing, or in many cases, not doing. He asserted, talking about President Obama, he asserted that Trump is not going to suddenly protect us all when he isn't taking basic steps to protect himself from COVID-19. This was one of those drive-in rallies for the Democratic nominee. And, you know, so you constantly hear the honking of the horns. Takes some getting used to, but that is the world that we live in. So you have these drive-in rallies. Obama spoke about Donald Trump. And the rest of us have to live with his actions or lack thereof. The rest of us have to live with the consequences. Obama said, 8 months into this pandemic, new cases are breaking records, President Obama said. And this is true. This is not just something he's just saying because he doesn't like the president. Of course, you remember Trump was hospitalized with the virus earlier this month and received a mix of steroids, antivirals, and experimental antibody treatments. But yet, Trump still shows disdain for wearing masks, either by not complying or mocking people that do. Former President Obama said that there is no sense that he's coming up with any new approach, no plan. He doesn't even acknowledge that there's a problem. Obama continued today. Just this week, he complained that the pandemic was making him go back to work. Obama said if he had been working in the first place, we would have never seen the situation get this bad. This, of course, coming from President Obama today in Miami-Dade at a drive-in rally. Like I said, it's one of those rallies where people have their cars and you're going to hear a combination of them honking horns and yelling and clapping. During this speech, Obama continued to stress that Trump, who is 74 years old, does not have a plan to combat this virus and does not take responsibility for what's happening across this country. All facts. These are all facts. And what I thought was very telling, someone who tries to portray themselves as being strong and powerful. I mean, for those that believe that crap, right? For those that believe that crap about Trump, I mean, he's not built like anybody that's strong. Doesn't have an athletic bone in his body. Spends a lot of time playing golf and can't play a lick. He had the nerve last week to talk about Anthony Fauci, who's a scientist, not being able to throw a fastball. Like Trump knows how to do anything athletic. But nonetheless, former President Obama reacted to Trump's recent 60-minute interview debacle, which we talked about earlier, where he cut short complaining on social media that the questions coming from CBS News correspondent Leslie Stahl were biased, were too tough. She asked him about his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, his inflammatory comments towards Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, his decision to promote unsafe public gatherings at his campaign rallies amid a pandemic, as well as his attacks on Anthony Fauci, who is, of course, the nation's leading health official on infectious disease. But what really got Trump upset was when she asked him about his plan, like what was going to be his focus if he gets reelected. Oh, he's too upset about that. President Obama said that Trump's refusal to answer certain questions should be concerning for voters. President Obama said, listen, Miami, if he can't answer tough questions like, what would you like to do in your second term? Because that's what really set him off. What would you like to do in your second term? President Obama said that it is up to us to see that he doesn't get a second term. As I said, this is not the first scathing ether that former President Obama has administered to Donald Trump. Earlier this week, on Wednesday, Obama gave another takedown of Trump during a rare in-person campaign appearance in none other than Philly. Got to keep it real if you're in Philly. In his speech, he dissed Trump heavily, and it's justified. It's justified. As of this broadcast, more than 220,000 Americans have died. And President Trump says that we're at the turn. So when I see idiots online like Dr. Boyce Watkins talking about, what kind of job that Trump is doing and how he could never vote for Joe Biden, it's frustrating. It's like, what world are you living in? What world are you living in? What country are you living in if you think that Donald Trump is doing a good job? What kind of country? What country are you have you been somewhere else and you're just not in America? Presidents that are up for re-election usually ask if the country is better off than it was 4 years ago. And President Obama said that he is here to say that 4 years ago, you'd be tailgating here at the Lincoln instead of watching speech from your car. And that is true. The coronavirus pandemic would have been difficult for anybody. But the way that this president, right now, as we speak, Trump won't even extend relief to the millions of families who are having trouble paying their rent or putting food on their tables because of this pandemic. The only people that have really benefited from the Trump debacle have been the ultra rich. November 3rd is just around the corner. I'm urging voters to back the Biden campaign. No, he's not perfect, but no one is perfect. But the Trump, a second Trump debacle could be lethal to the world. We've already lost over 220,000 Americans under Trump's watch. Can you imagine the outrage from Fox News and other Republican outlets if we lost 220,000 Americans under President Obama's watch? Can you imagine how crazy they would be going? Yeah. Just yesterday, when asked if he'd do anything differently, Donald Trump said, not much. Not much. Wouldn't do much different. Nothing you can think of that could have helped people keep their loved ones alive. Nothing. Even his brother died of coronavirus, allegedly. Oh, you notice how they don't talk about the cause of death for Trump's brother? Anybody knows that? So the information on COVID-19 rapidly changes. We are in the middle of a pandemic. Middle of a pandemic. And you are going to hear a lot of crazy things going forward to this November 3rd day that may turn to election week. And I've said this, it may turn to election week. So you have to be prepared for that. Have to be prepared for that. And I am definitely prepared for that. You have to get out and vote. Preferably vote early. But it is important to vote. So we're going to see President Obama more. I'm absolutely sure. Stumping for Joe Biden, his former vice president, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden's vice presidential pick. You're going to see that. And this is something that we've never seen before. We've never seen a former president go this hard at his successor. We've never seen that. It felt to me like President Obama has had these thoughts and feelings pent up inside for almost 4 years. I felt like that. And he was finally able to get some things off his chest. This final push, Florida is very important. Florida is very important. President Obama asked Florida to bring this thing over. Slamming Trump in Miami. Florida man wouldn't even do this stuff. Talking about a social media meme. Of course, Trump took credit for the economy that was handed to him by President Obama, which he has destroyed now. Trump and Biden are hitting the swing states. 10 days left until the election. 10 days left. I am glad to see President Obama campaigning for Joe Biden. I wish he had come out earlier. But it is what it is, and he's out now, and we're going to continue to see him and see Joe Biden as well. President Obama put on his Twitter feed, "Hello, Florida. It's vote early day, and we're just 10 days away from this election," the former president said. "I want to see you make a plan today for how you're going to get involved and vote. Let's get to work," he said. So, President Obama is probably the most popular Democrat, even 4 years after, you know, his term came to an end. He is a very motivating and moving speaker, much more so than Joe Biden. I will have to admit that. But let's not act like Trump is some, super engaging speaker. What he did, talking about Trump, is sell America a bill of goods. But he's like a crappy used car salesman. And we've driven this car off the lot and it is broken down. And we took it back and he's making excuses and he's trying to blame it on us. It's not your fault, America. But what you can do is get this clown out of the White House. Joe Biden is not perfect. He may not be your choice. He's not exciting, right? He's not an engaging speaker. And he's even older than the president. But what America needs right now is a steady hand. I hear a lot of Republicans, black and white Republicans, talking about Trump is the choice. And you have idiots like 50 Cent talking about his taxes. And that's why he's voting for Trump. At a time when we have unemployment the way it is, multimillionaires just worried about themselves. That's the problem. These are the type of people that are attracted to Donald Trump. You're not one of those type of people. You understand that over 200,000 Americans are dead? So when I hear an entertainer like 50 Cent talk about some taxes, well, we have Americans dying. Kids are learning their schoolwork at home because of the mishandling of this pandemic. 50 Cent has a child himself, but he doesn't care about that. Trump doesn't care about you. Trump doesn't even think he did anything wrong. Over 200,000 Americans have died, and he says he would do nothing different. Oh, well. He's the commander in chief and calls the soldiers, the men and women, the brave men and women, suckers and losers. It is not that hard. It is very easy to see what's going on. We have an imbecile in the White House, an imbecile. And if we continue to allow this guy with surging coronavirus as the race for the White House continues, he complains. Trump complains. Why are we still talking about coronavirus? All you want to do, coronavirus. And I see someone in the comment section. You can see that comment there. And let me debunk that and explain that to you. So you'll often hear President Trump, just as this viewer says that 2.2 million was the projection. 2.2 million was not the projection. 2.2 million was the suggestion if nothing was done. That's how bad it could be. That was a number to let people know how serious things were. But it's a loser mentality when you hear Trump say, "Oh well, they said it was going to be 2.2 million." You got to listen to the rest of the sentence. But that's something frequent that ignorant people like Trump does not do. The full sentence is what you have to listen to. 2.2 million if nothing is done. That's no masks, no shutdowns, no lockdowns, no social distancing, nothing. And that's but the over patting back, the oversimplification of this is hilarious. So this Trump supporter says that that's why the borders were closed, hence not the 2.2 million. First of all, you don't even know whether we're going to get there. Okay, the pandemic is not over. Okay, the pandemic is not over. The numbers are still growing, right? Even Trump couldn't protect. For when people say that he shut down the borders, right? Even Trump got the coronavirus. Shutting down the borders is not the only act that you take. It is not the only thing that you do. As you can see, Trump supporters, your dear leader got it well after he shut down the borders because that's not the only thing that has to be done. Good Lord, people. That's not the only thing that has to be done. There is still no end in sight for the pandemic. All of the Republican places that was talking all this trash and opening things up well in advance, it's spreading there. North Dakota, South Dakota, hello? Are you still there? But Trump supporters, I get it. And maybe you want to get coronavirus because Trump got it and you think that the same thing's going to happen to you. But while the president is assuring PAC supporters, shoulder to shoulder, older Americans, that they have rounded the turn and mocking people that are wearing masks. If that's how you want to roll, what can I say? Many of you are going to probably be the ones who are drinking the bleach, right? Or injecting the bleach, right? Or the light, thinking that hydroxychloroquine was the solution. Many of you have done that, right? No. I mean, what we have to do is have a national strategy for this problem. And just like Republicans who want to stop the ACA, they haven't created any plan for that. Republicans don't create plans. What they do is tear down plans that other people make. That's the other thing. Trump wants to take people's health care without a replacement, take people's health care during a pandemic. But I'm sure the Trump supporters will have an answer for that. Maybe health care is not something that you need. Healthcare is overrated, right? or some other kind of foolishness. And many Trump supporters that talk this talk without the ACA will have no coverage. But the president's going to have coverage. Young Barron's going to have coverage. You talk about immigration, the first lady's going to have coverage. Oh, yeah. First lady is an immigrant. She migrated here, right? Okay, just so you know. They're trying to take away your health coverage without a replacement during a pandemic. And before you say that Republicans have a solution or replacement, it's been 10 years. This even predates the Trump debacle that we're currently in. This predates that. Every 2 weeks, Trump says, oh, in 2 weeks is coming. 2 more weeks is coming. 4 weeks. How many weeks is that? How many weeks has it been? Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. And, I think that the other really, really sad thing is that a lot of people that have had coronavirus will now have a pre-existing condition. The thing that upsets Republicans the most is not wanting to help people. They want to help businesses. They want to help corporations. And in Trump's case, he wants to help Russia and China and everywhere else but America. But we can go on and on about this. We can go on and on about this. Vice President Mike Pence is going to continue his travel despite the contact that he has had with an infected aide. The vice president is, Trump's probably got his foot on his neck making sure that he maintains this campaign schedule this week. He has a top aide who tested positive for coronavirus today. Pence himself has tested negative, according to his office, but you got to take that with a grain of salt. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention criteria says that the vice president is considered a close contact of his chief of staff, Mark Short, but will not quarantine. This is the type of irresponsibility that has spread this thing further than it had to go. This type of irresponsibility. It's like he's burning and he won't put on a condom, right? He won't even take the penicillin. And he's still having sex with his wife. But we're talking about Mike Pence, so, that may not be something that happens. Anyway, Pence decided to maintain his travel schedule in consultation with the White House medical unit. They're going to be good with it. And in accordance with the CDC guidelines, I don't even know if Pence gets coronavirus. I don't know if they're going to give him the same treatment that they gave the president. He may just have to fend for himself. But so it's very interesting. Pence's wife, Karen, has tested negative today, according to their office, and remains in good health. We'll see how this goes. I'm not sure. But I think that it is an insult to everybody who's been working in public health and in public health responses. It is very harmful and disrespectful to the people that are going to the rallies. Pence's own people. I keep telling you guys and gals that the Trump squad does not care. They don't care about you guys, right? I'm not going to go to any Trump rally. But the Trump supporters that are still left, the Trump supporters, you guys and girls, they don't care about you. They don't encourage you to wear masks. And when they're sick or have had exposure or have been compromised, they still go. They don't care about you. It's ironic. But Pence's handling of his exposure to a confirmed positive case stands in contrast to anybody that cares. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. I will be back tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the Baltimore mayor's race and some things related to that. So we'll be talking about that. I will be back tomorrow, of course, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. I always enjoy talking with all types of people, different thoughts, different views politically. I still enjoy it, and I love talking to my fellow Americans, men and women, about this. So definitely continue to hit me up. I have had a lot of interesting conversations with people who are politically on another side than I am, and us exchanging these ideas and exchanging these thoughts. That's what makes things better. You say something to me that makes sense, I'll definitely acknowledge, hey, that makes sense. I was wrong about that. But if you don't, then, you don't. But we'll be back tomorrow. The Diamond K Show, of course, anywhere you're listening to this, follow The Diamond K Show. New shows drop daily. RadioonFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com.